Well, hello guys, welcome back. Sorry we are so terribly late. We did try off and on all day, just wasn't working. We finally took some time off, made some festival food. Loki gave me my video, alright. We made, we've been making rice bowl and obsessing over it, and it's so good. And, we've been obsessing over this because it's so good. We throw some rice and some fancy Nor rice sides and like a bunch of vegetables and stuff in a pot and cook it and everything. It's so good. Well, we've always done it with French fries. Looking back, we're both like, oh yeah. And those are already cooked, deep fried, salted. You throw them in, so good. Well, we decided to use canned potatoes, and we're all hopping and happy and everything else. And we decided that what we were going to get, and I'm talking to Loki, and this is a hearth god. At least in modern times, he's seen it as a hearth god. He knows his way around the kitchen. In fact, this kitchen is his sacred territory. Between him and someone with decades cooking, we decided what we were going to end up with, having cooked this rice bowl plenty of times before, with a whole can of potatoes, sliced potatoes. There's a problem right there, I'll tell you that right now. We spiced the potatoes and everything too as we put them in, and this was going to be so good. It was going to be rice bowl, but it was going to have these spicy, yummy potatoes in it. We cooked it for an hour. I got it out. I'm starving because I'm forgetting to eat during the festival. I'm working or trying to work or something. The rice wasn't quite done, so everybody was yelling at us, so we put more water in it and we cooked it another hour. We bring it out, and we had put some beautiful spices in this guy's beautiful spices. We take our time when we cook, and it has broccoli and cheese and everything else in it. What came out of that oven was an abomination in the eyes of God. It was bad. I took a taste, and all expression fled from my face. And look, he's like, "What?" He tasted too, and I'm like, "It's like wallpaper paste." Not that I would know, but it tastes pretty bad. And we saved it. I sat down. I'm trying to watch videos. Still, nothing's coming to me. Because we have a good enough link, I got butter from him, and luckily we had butter. And then I thought, well, what do you put on a baked potato? Because it basically tastes like a big old pot of potatoes with rice. And, some other vegetables in that. So we went and we got pepper and we got Old Bay and we put it in there. It's still not all that great, but it's edible. We can eat it. It would help a hell of a lot if we had bacon on hand, but we don't. Um, and you can do that sometimes. You can do that sometimes. You can do something you've done for decades and screw it up so badly that you have no idea how you managed to do that. And you would think between a god that knows his way around the kitchen and a person that cooked for decades, how did we screw up so bad? What we were saying to each other back and forth, however we communicate, was, "Ooh, this is what I think we'll get." We'll get this beautiful rice bowl with a side of potatoes. It's not what we got. Funnily enough, even though they cook for 2 hours in a 350-degree oven, the sliced potatoes are still intact. The rice turned to something else, but the potatoes are good. Um, we misfired. Some instinct told me I should have only went with half a can, but no, I knew better. I had this grand vision, and Loki went with me. And we ended up making something beautiful out of the mistake. Sometimes that's the way we get our best dishes. But basically, guys, it's okay to fail, because you're gonna fail. And I'm spitting on the mic, and I'm sorry, but you're going to fail with the gods at times. You're going to fail with Loki at times. I wanted to cry when I tasted it. It was so bad, I wanted to cry. And it's funny now, but it wasn't funny when I had a huge pot of food and it's all bad and it's supposed to be festival food and have num-nums and, I wanted to cry. You're gonna fail. You're gonna fail. You're gonna do a ritual if you're into rituals, and it's gonna go horribly wrong. You're gonna do magic, and I get leery of people that want to do, this only comes with time. This really only comes with time, that want to do magic every single part of the day, because one, that's too much, and two, it's going to backfire on you eventually. Spells boomerang. That's what we called it in my day. They do come return to sender with a vengeance sometimes, all on their own, because something went goofy and you may never figure out what it was that you did. It's why When you begin, you keep a book of shadows, but then you pass a certain age, you're like, eh. And, because you start using magic less and less, and working with the gods, you're still gonna fail. Loki and I know each other very well, but, even though we were in good communication and we were both thinking good thoughts, and I prayed to him over this, it came out horrible. But we rescued it because he was in the mood to rescue it. If his mood had went the other way and he got mad about it, there would have been no rescuing it. It would have been me coming onto the camera crying. It's still not super great, but it's a lot better than it was. And sometimes that's what you're gonna dig out of something. It's not gonna be a recipe. It's gonna be something you tried with Loki, and it's just gonna fail, and you're gonna dig okay out of it. You're gonna dig okay out of it. You're not gonna dig great out of it. You're not gonna dig best thing ever out of it, though sometimes failures end up being something, a disguised blessing. You're gonna dig okay out of it. You're gonna dig, at least it's edible, or at least we can use this, or at least we can do something with it out of it. That's okay. Those are the times you have to laugh and realize that this is not an exact science. This is a faith, a belief, whatever you want to call it. There are going to be times when you both have the best of intents and it still fails. And moon and stars didn't align. I don't know, but it was pretty bad. No one else will eat it. Loki and I are eating it. It's actually pretty good. It tastes like a mistake. I wish to the gods we had bacon bits, because that would actually make it, I think, perfect. It needs a little beefy something in there. Like, yeah. Do we still have that? I don't know. Anyhow, but yeah, sometimes you're gonna do that. You're gonna mess up something terribly with Loki, and it's okay. It isn't Loki hating you. Especially if he was all systems go. Now we talk about having discernment. Cliff Notes version of discernment is, if the voice in your head agrees with you all the time, that's you. If it disagrees with you all the time, that's probably still you. Especially if it's saying something negative or mean, that's definitely you. And we've discussed before about it's okay to need therapy and still be a magical person. I go, yeah, but basically, you're gonna have times. I lost my train of thought where you're both all systems go, communication's wide open. It still goes wrong. It doesn't mean that Loki hates you. It doesn't mean you've made him mad. It doesn't mean that it's some spirit lying to you. It just means that it went wrong. Disasters happen. They happen in the kitchen. They happen in magic. They happen in spell work. They happen in relationships. Whatever your relationship is with the god, they happen. Especially with Loki. I kind of reluctant to tie him to anything mischievous and chaotic, thanks to Marvel, but yeah, sometimes the chaos god in all his glory blesses your cooking and it comes out and you're like, I ain't eating that. So, or he blesses your magic or something else. You do have to take a god's essential nature, and when you ask them for help, you're going to get a lot different response from Loki than you would from the old man, than you would from, say, Jesus or something. So think before you ask for the help. Think of who it's coming from. Think of, that's why we study our gods. What is a good example of what could happen? With Loki, I'll tell you absolutely anything. He could do something perfectly mundane, or he could do pure chaos. You don't ever know until you ask and you find out. He's usually not that bad, but the people that work with him and love him know that there's some risk involved in that. That chaos has got to come out sometimes, and if he's trying to be way too good and way too, serene, eventually the chaos is going to, at least in my experience, come out the worst possible time. So chaos came out in the kitchen today, but that's okay. But it doesn't mean Loki doesn't love you. It feels timely for one of you. It does not mean Loki doesn't love you if your cooking came out bad or everything's going kittywampus right now. You work with a god that has chaotic tendencies, that's going to come into your life. It's why Hermes and I are at loath to work with each other, because I seem to really trigger his ability to make everything turn into foobar. And we don't work with each other for that reason, because it will last for weeks. And I'm like, finally, like, you gotta leave before I don't have a house left. And he's like, I'm gone. So it's not Loki being mad at you. It's not someone putting a curse on you. It's just, it happens. You will sometimes life's a punk like that. Sometimes you have a couple days where you're tripping over your own shadow and everything's going wrong. It's not always Loki. He doesn't hate you. Feels timely for one of you. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't know why, but I don't mind doing timely stuff, but sorry we weren't on. We tried to do like a really heavy, important topic video, just did not feel right for the channel. We tried to do a Lucifer meditation, was not working, and it had nothing to do with not wanting to work together. It just was not flowing. This did. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.